on, people? You thought we weren't going to be here today, but we are back with another great live stream. This is Matic Mondays, and if you are new to the program, this is about digital nomad, remote work, traveling, all of that under the sun. And definitely like and subscribe, share. If you are returning, what's going on, family? We are back with another Matic Mondays, and I have my co-host Tiffany Sports and Heels. What's going on?
Good evening. Slightly distracted by the music that's playing in my ear.
Is it too loud still?
Yeah.
No.
No, it's just distracting me.
It's groovy though.
It's groovy.
It is groovy.
What is this? What is this? 1975?
Yes, it's groovy, baby. It's groovy, baby. What do y'all think? That y'all like the music? Y'all like the sound? I know you like the sound. We got Mocha in the building.
Hi, Mocha.
Always there to help and assist. Appreciate you, Mocha, on our A1 Day Ones from way back. Sports Talk Radio.
So what we? Oh, did he freeze?
Did I freeze?
Yeah, you froze a little bit.
Oh boy.
You're not frozen now. I can see your big head moving.
Okay. Yeah, I see my little bars messing with me again. So let's get into the show, man. You know, we were here to talk about European visas today. You know, in the space of, you know, where I kind of browse and work around in the Latin space. Everyone's on the Colombia, the Brazil visas, and we kind of went over that with a few people. But there's more. You know, there's more to this. You know, Latin America, South America. We got Europe, and you're right off the boat from Europe. Still a month ago.
Yeah, I was across the pond last month. Spent some time in London and spent some time in Paris. So I'm excited about this show because I had never really considered a visa in Europe. I think I was with the rest of the gangs, kind of interested in South America, in Colombia, Costa Rica. You know, those Caribbean warm tropical climates is kind of, you know, living in the Midwest is kind of where my focus was. But Europe, London, surprised me. I didn't think that because it's an urban, you know, it's a real metropolis. I didn't think I would, you know, like it, but I loved it. And so I'm excited about this show because there's more to see. There's a lot more visas opening up, and I hear some of our favorite places in Europe have some really amazing visa opportunities. So I'm really excited about this show.
Yes. I knew you were gonna like it, man. Anybody that goes to Europe, I mean, if you've been to South America and you go to Europe, I mean, you're dealing with developing countries versus modern countries, and it's just night and day. They both had their pros and cons, but I know when I went to Spain, it was just like, this is it. Like, I love it. I love the architecture, the food, the weather was, you know, giving me that four seasons. Like in South America, you either get wet season, humid, hot. Depending if you're in a mountainous area like Bogota, you may get a little cooler weathers. So, you know, and the crime is a little bit higher. You're gonna have crime everywhere, but it's definitely, the pandemic has definitely impacted a lot of your developing countries. They take a little longer to bounce back than more modern countries like Europe. So, and right now too with the euro, it's almost 1-to-1. That's another positive thing too.
You know, you do have to be a little bit more, you know, in some areas, the cost of living is going to be much, much lower. You get a lot more for your buck. But if you're fortunate enough to be in a position to go to Europe, there's some places in Europe where you can go that may not be as inexpensive as South America or the Colombias, or Brazils, but you can definitely get more bang for your buck than in the U.S. That's for sure.
Right, and I want to thank Tiffany Poodle Import, another A1 Day One Poodle. The the dog pound and the poodle. That's where it came from. The Sports Talk Radio, and so she may be a fan of poodles too. You never know, but well, we thank you, Tiffany, for that super sticker. Yeah, so I definitely want to debunk that. Cost of living because I actually I stayed in Spain for a good. I had a good. They call them flats, which is like a studio or whatever.
Mm.
I think at that time it was 2019. It was like 30 something dollars, I think, a night. Right in the La Peace in Madrid, in a neighborhood called La Peace. Very eclectic, diverse neighborhood. They had Indians with the Indian cuisine. They had Africans a block away. They had traditional Spanish food, like on the other side, right down the street from this big plaza. Um, food was just beautiful. I'm a foodie, so
Yeah.
um, yeah. What we have here? We have the greatest. Appreciate you coming through, brother. Yes, and let's see, Tiffany. Yes. Okay, Eddie Mo 2.0. That is my alias name in the sports chat talk area. If y'all are not recognizing who's Eddie Mo. So yes.
Yeah, and we always invite you guys who are watching to come into the live show. You're welcome to come into the comment section, ask questions. We do these shows not just for ourselves, but we do this for the community. We want you guys to have access to some of this information, kind of take some of the guesswork out of some of the topics that we're bringing today, like visas. So we want to give you some options on where you can go, how much it will cost, what the process looks like, what the requirements are. Kind of hoping to help you guys navigate if this is something you've ever thought about. So, feel free to come into the comment section, ask questions, or leave a comment for follow-up questions. We do follow-up questions on later shows. So this is a community here, so we want you to come and be a part of it.
Yes, yes. I have definitely been wanting to talk about this. I know other people probably too, but we all are new to this, so
Yeah.
we're not experts in this. We want to definitely make that notice, that disclosure right now. We all figuring this out together, so we'll take you along with us here. So let's jump. I know you had a what you call it, TikTok, which is Tiffany's favorite app.
It's my
Um,
favorite research app, guys.
oh, so research app.
Gone are the days of Googling. Now I just go to TikTok and I get firsthand accounts of things. Kind of like YouTube. You know how we use YouTube for, the longer videos, the more detailed videos. But if I just need a 30-second overview, I'm going to TikTok.
Mm. So TikTok is the new Wikipedia, huh?
You got to weed through the BS, obviously, just like anywhere else where you get information. But
Right.
it's good if I need to, especially when I was traveling to Europe. I immediately went to TikTok to, you know, Google places to eat, recommendations on activities. Maybe I was able to catch an art show that was recommended on TikTok that was phenomenal. I also checked out a fashion show based on what I saw on TikTok while I was in London. So, I mean, Paris, some of the shows and things that we did there. So it's a great tool for traveling because everybody's trying to travel right now. COVID really opened people's eyes up to things that they were missing out on, and people are kind of like taking the bull by the horn when it comes to traveling. So this is just another video that I saw on TikTok that kind of went along with tonight's topic.
Okay, awesome. Um, yeah, I was just messing with you on TikTok. I know TikTok is a great resource. A lot of people are sharing things and giving you exposure to things that you probably wouldn't even know. Um, but let's go with this first one here.
Starting today, this country allows you to live here on a digital nomad visa. Digital nomad is basically like a remote worker, someone who can work from anywhere in the world. And Portugal has become a hotspot for digital nomads because on average, everything here is about 40% cheaper than in the US, and paying rent is about 50% cheaper than the US. And as a country, it ranks number 17 in terms of internet speed. But in order to qualify, you must make at least $2,800 per month, and that could be on your own or you could be employed by a company. 30 countries have launched digital nomad visas recently because they like us coming there and working there and spending money there. But some people argue that when you have, let's say, thousands of Americans coming to a place like Lisbon, you drive up the price of real estate and housing here. And this is a country where minimum wage is about $800 a month for the locals. Starting today, this country allows.
So there's two reasons why I wanted to bring this up. One, I actually had a friend who traveled to Portugal, and this was on their list of places to visit. But two, this visa program just launched, I believe, October 30th is
Mhm.
when they launched this program. So there's a couple of interesting things. One, I thought the 2,800 was reasonable for digital nomads. Two, that the source of income can be on your own or working for a company. And some countries do specify that it has to be um, coming from, entrepreneur or a local company. But this one leaves it open for you. So I thought the requirements were pretty low. And then the last thing is something I think we don't really touch on, but maybe we should when we're talking about visas is be mindful that when you're going to these countries, that you're going there and you're choosing these locations for visa application processes and to live, relocate, stay for a short time, whatever it is. You're choosing to go there because the cost is lower than where you are. And so be mindful that when you're going in there, you're taking um, that wealth and that privilege of having that kind of disposable income with you to that country. So be mindful, and spend some of your money with the local people, because it's already hard for them to live there with such low wages. Um, and we need to be mindful that we are having an economic impact that could be negative. So I don't want to go in this thinking, oh, this is wonderful, go do this. It is, but I always want to make sure that we're being mindful of the people and the cultures that we are moving into. Adrian.
Yes. Cool. I'm trying to bring up this other one here. You had a second one, right? It looked like it was playing the same thing.
Yeah, it really was just
Same thing.
further expounding on his second point about what I just mentioned about moving and relocating to these areas as Americans. You know, as as I travel and I'm getting more exposure to locals and wherever I'm going, I have to be mindful of where I grew up and how I grew up and the privilege that comes with that. And not everyone has that same privilege. And so I like to support local artists when I'm there. I support local establishments, whether it's a restaurant or a shop. Um, if they have community service opportunities, I love Airbnb experiences because a lot of those experiences are with actual locals. I did one while I was in London. I did a tour, and it was just me and the tour guide who was from London. Who did the tour. So you're giving those local dollars to the community. So if you're going to, move somewhere, if you're going to be somewhere for extended period of time where a visa is going to be required, then make sure that you use your privilege to spend some of those dollars and be mindful that people are not always going to be welcoming of you being there because you're pushing out people who are not able to afford the things, the luxuries that you are. Because why would they rent? His point was, why would they rent to a local for $500 when they can rent to an American who's coming there and paying $1,000? And for $1,000 for us here these days, with the cost of rent, is cheap compared to what some of us are paying in the U.S. So just be mindful of things like that. If don't let that tarnish or ruin how you feel about where you're going, but definitely do your research and figure out how you can assist the locals that are there with the disposable income that you have.
Right. I wanted to share we a little bit off script, but I wanted to share an article I just thought about when you mentioned that because one country that is really impacted by the digital nomad rush, you should say, is Mexico City in particular. Um, Over tourism, a digital nomads flock to Mexico City. Locals face rising rent. Um, because if you ever looked at on Airbnb Mexico City, on average, you can find a nice one bedroom for probably about 300, 400 a month, five, six, or whatever, anywhere from 3 to 600. And you got a lot of Colombian, not Californians that actually are migrating there. And when they have rent that's 2,000 for a one bedroom.
Yeah.
They'll go, oh, it's only 600. Give me two of them. You know, and so it's definitely impacting the Mexico economy, even in other places too.
Yeah, that video was Portugal, or actually the locals are protesting making claims that the government is more seeking the money that comes in from having these, tourists come in versus the locals who, can no longer afford to live there.
Right. Let me see if I can pull it up.
Of Americans coming to a place like Lisbon, you drive up the price of real estate and housing here. And this is a country where minimum wage is about $800 a month for the locals.
When the school started in university, many people gave up their studies because all the people that are renting bedrooms are now renting for digital nomads that can pay much more than a Portuguese student that comes from outside of Lisbon to study.
People outside of Europe, mostly Americans, are coming here to enjoy 50% off housing costs. But in the process, it's making this city unaffordable to many who actually are from Portugal. I happen to see people protesting the digital nomad visa because they worry that their government is being greedy.
Yeah, the rent is going crazy high, and now it's affecting public schools, hospitals, because our wages are really very low. And of course, if someone can rent an apartment for 2,000 euros, will not rent it for 700.
When you have, let's say, thousands of Americans coming to a place like
Yeah. So I'm glad that we're doing this show for those who are interested in expanding their horizon and going to Europe for visas. But I'm equally glad that we're at least shedding light that yes, these are great opportunities that we're promoting, but we do have to be mindful of the impact on the local economy and the local residents. So being part of being African American, we are very aware of what tourism is colonization. When you're leaving your country and going to another country and changing things, that's colonization. So we're very aware of the impact of colonization. And I think globally, we just need to be mindful of, we want to promote seeing the world, but be a good citizen of the world still, and support the locals.
Yes. Leave your American ways in America. But yes, so that will lead us to the article gives us a breakdown of a lot of the requirements and guidelines to, I think it's about 10 countries on this one here.
Yeah.
And it's a fairly new article. So this is out of Euronews Travel. One of the first countries that kind of jumped this off during the pandemic was Croatia, and we have them up first. Croatia, that's boat yacht
Yacht Week.
Yacht Week, Yacht Nick, and
Yeah.
all that stuff
Yeah, they have several yacht yacht related weeks.
for Black travelers. Um, and I've seen a few people on, well, not on TikTok, but Instagram. Croatia is really beautiful, though. Nice
Yeah.
beaches, nice what's this, beaches and stuff like that. So Croatia is a 1 year visa length with possibility to renew. Most of these have an application fee. Some I've seen that's, I think I saw, was it?
Yeah, I think once we scroll down, we'll see some more that are like 200, 300.
I saw one that was 1,500 the other day, and I was like, "Whew, is that refundable or non-refundable?"
So it looks like you have to be, um, they want you working in communication technology, either through your own company or registered abroad or as a remote employee for a company outside Croatia. So
Yes.
you don't have to have a tourist visa.
Um,
And there's no income tax if you decide to get one of these remote visas and work out of Croatia. So that's a bonus. You still will be taxed in the US. Um, so,
well, that depends. If it depends on how long you're out of the U.S., you'll be taxed. You can be exempt if you're, I think under 30 days out of. I mean, if you stay out, if you're more than 30 days in the states, you'll be taxed at the regular tax rate. But if you keep it under 30 days, you can exempt from taxes. Pretty much, if you're just going all year, you can be exempt. Is what the law is pretty much. But the one thing that this is the part right here that I really hone in on. What can this go into? What can this be rolled into? Because some people may just love that country, love Croatia, love Spain, because like the European visa is one of the most covenant visas. Surprisingly, that some people think the U.S. is, but it's really hard to get like a second visa
Yeah.
or passport, citizenship in another country, especially Europe. I'm sorry. So this is the beginning part right here, getting that temporary residence, and that can help you transition into that with this digital nomad visa. And a lot of them I'm seeing that like that. So it takes a lot to not have it and to try to get your temporary visa, it takes a lot of paperwork, and you could already have that done by just doing this digital nomad visa and then
Yeah.
rolling right into the temporary one.
Yeah, and I want to bring up another point. If you are in the US and you're traveling to Europe, most countries do not require you to apply for a visa to visit Europe. These would be for extended stays. These would be I'm moving there or I'm staying for extended period of time. So if some countries may require US citizens to, if you have a valid US passport, you're able to travel freely. You still want to check with the local, go to their website or go on TikTok or go on YouTube and figure out your requirements to travel there. But these are strictly for those who plan on staying for an extended period of time. If you are outside of the US and you're watching this broadcast, the requirements for you to apply for a visa in Europe is going to be much different. So I just want to make sure I added those little caveats of information.
Yes, I'm sometimes forgetting that we have new people here that's watching our live stream here, and like give a little context to this whole why are we doing this, why are we presenting this. I know myself with being part of this passport movement, Black Passport Brothers movement. We fell in love with a lot of different countries, but as an American, we do get a lot of privilege. You can go to a lot of countries and get a visa on arrival, or if it's places like Cuba, you can get a visa by the 11 requirements, and it's ways that you can get the visas, but they're time lapse. They have a time where you have to be gone.
Yeah.
And what do you do when you man, the 90 days have gone by fast. The 180 days have gone by fast. Some people that I tell about Colombia, they were like, "Oh, I didn't know you." I was like, after 6 months, you have to be gone. Like, if you're not going, you have to pay some hefty fines.
Yeah.
Some fines you probably would not even imagine a developing country will probably charge you that much. I've seen as much as 2-3 grand U.S. dollars for overstaying the visa, and you may jeopardize being able to come back. So with that, if you look into your digital nomad visas, remote working visas, you can get a year. You can roll it into another year. So, some people, a lot of people are now traveling because of the pandemic and remote working. And so now you have to think about like, well, how can I get more time here? This is how you can get more time here with these visas here.
Yeah,
So,
and one other thing is I don't want to mispronounce what this visa is, but if you're outside of the U.S. and you're interested in a visa in Europe, there is a website I'm going to recommend, and I'm going to spell it because I can't. It's Schengen visa. It's SH. It's probably German. SHENGEN visa.
that's what the European Union.
Yes, European Union visa. They have a website. You can go there. It tells you how to apply, what the requirements are, what you need, what countries it gives you access to, and those are just for those people who are outside of the U.S. This would not be applicable for anyone in the U.S.
Yes, this is it. We're here. This is the area. Let's see. Like, I don't think this includes. These are like EU countries.
Yes.
Like, it doesn't include like UK. UK is not a EU company. I mean country. Sorry.
Yeah. So go to the website. It'll tell you what countries it includes. I think it's over 30. But yeah, we just wanted to make sure we said this is definitely a US based show.
Yes. And so next we have Czech Republic. I heard it's really really affordable living there as well too. I did hear that. Remote workers can apply for a long-term business or freelance license. Czech Republic. And it is for non-EU citizens who freelance or run their own business. That's one thing too. They like to, run your own business, freelancer, maybe in a certain genre or lane with digital. A lot of them are looking for digital companies, digital marketing companies, digital data companies, any type of digital technology companies. They're definitely looking for that.
You see that last line?
This right, it requires a company, the Czech Republic, so can be used by those intending to gain local freelance work, such as teaching. Now I know some of these want you to be working for a company outside of the country that you're trying to get into for a visa. So this one is a little different.
It requires ties with a company in the Czech Republic.
Yes, and that is not the norm. Most of them do not want you, or they may be limited. You can only have I think Spain was like 10%. You can only make 10%. 10% of your money can come from Spain, no more than that. They want that outside money coming in. That's benefit for them to have that money coming in. It kind of goes to what that lady was saying, is the government is being greedy and not thinking about their citizens. So the next one is Estonia. This is a digital for infrastructure on a budget. Like we're saying, a lot of them are very inexpensive countries.
Now, this is the highest income requirement we've seen at $3,500 a month.
Yes, they definitely trying to get that money. Okay, this is launched in summer 2020. One of the first ones. It lets people working remotely for companies abroad, like I'm saying, or freelancers with clients mostly abroad. We're saying they want most of it abroad, back in your home country, if that be.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and you can stay in Estonia up to 1 year at a time. You can apply for additional 6 months visa after your initial one expires. Okay, so let me give another little context too. Um, what was done before was people used to do what you call visa runs, where they would go to that bordering country. I know I've heard that in like Thailand, it's in Mexico, you can go to Guatemala. Um, there's some other countries too that people go to that neighboring country and stay there for like 3 days and come back through customs, get another stamp, and then
Belize, go to Honduras.
yeah, yeah, it starts over again.
Yeah.
But yeah, see, I know like Colombia, you can't do a visa run. You have to be, you do your 6 months. It's on a calendar year. You have to wait till the next year to come back and do your 6 months again. So
Yeah. And then for this Estonia one, you after 6 months, you will be subject to local taxes. So you will be taxed. So that's something to keep in mind.
yes, the country also offers e-residency, which grants remote and entrepreneurs digital access to Estonia's e-services without providing residency. This can be used to run a company online, access banking, and declare taxes in Estonia without actually living there.
Wow.
Alrighty. Next up, we have Finland. Um, for untouched nature in the world's happiest country. Did not know they were the world's happiest country. And they have a short one. They have a 6 months visa length. Um, but the income requirement is
It's 1,200. Very doable. Well, yeah, considering.
Yes, yes, yes. Um, Finland's self-employment visa is open to non-EU entrepreneurs who are self-employed or run independent business. Applicants must meet the minimum income requirement and prove they have means. That may be an easy win right there.
Yeah.
That may be an easy. I wonder what's the renewal process on it though. They renew it for like the 6 months or a year. That's short. 6 months come by fast.
Well, while you're looking at the next one,
We have Greece. Which I've heard Greece is kind of expensive. It's a little on the higher end of Europe. Would have a 1 year with possibility to extend with a residence permit. You go right into the residence permit. That is nice. Last year, Greece launched a scheme to allow non-EU citizens to live and work remotely in the country. To be approved, you'll need to show you have sufficient resources of a monthly income of at least 3,500 euros. Digital nomads are not permitted to work or freelance for Greek companies under the scheme. So it goes back to what's the norm usually. They want that outside money coming in.
okay, if we can circle back to Finland, you can apply for extended permit for up to 4 years.
Oh, 4 years. Okay.
Yes, if you still meet the same requirements you met when your previous residence permit was granted, then the Finnish Immigration Service will grant you an extended permit.
Hmm.
So they ask that you apply for an extension 3 months before your residence permit expires. So it does take 90 days.
Hmm. Good stuff. Good stuff. Oh yeah, you did Greece. Next we're on Hungary. The thermal baths, low cost living.
Looks like we got a question.
Oh, I'm sorry, I can't even see the board.
Great question, Tiny Tim, and welcome.
Yes, Tiny Tim. Curious if your employer is a U.S. company, you still pay U.S. taxes, correct? So a country like Estonia is double taxation. Uh, well, yes and no. Like I was saying before, and I still need to make sure that it's still the right thoughts with this. Let's say if you stay out 11 months, um, or you only come back to the States for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, you don't have to pay U.S. taxes. If you're out of the country for that, and you only come back for 2 or 3 weeks, visit for Easter, Christmas, and Thanksgiving. But if you go over those 30 days, you're liable to pay taxes in the States. We'll follow up with that. We probably need to do some tax law show.
Yeah, let's. Because I'm looking here, and the IRS says it's 330 full days. Tim, you meet the physical presence. I'm sorry. You have to be in another country for a period, full days, 330 full days during any period of 12 consecutive months, including some parts of the year.
Right. That 300. So that's 35. No, 35 days you can be max. You said how many?
330.
Okay, yeah. I knew it was like under a month. You're good.
You still have to file a U.S. tax return.
Right. There's so many things.
There's tax credits and foreign tax credits, and depends on where you go. I think Europe, might be one of those places where you might get credits. But again, do your research, talk to an accountant, someone who has, and we'll like Adrian just mentioned, we'll do a show, and maybe we can bring on a tax professional who can speak a little bit more about what that would require. And I think I know one.
I think you do know a couple of accountants, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Welcome, Tiny Tim. Oh, in the building, my guy Jermaine, aka Brown Liquor Baron. What's good, my guy? What's good? Yes. So back to
our list.
Our list here. We are with Hungary. 1 year with possibility to extend application, 110 euros. We're right at 2,000 euros for the month income requirement. Hungary's white card visa is open to non-EU digital nomads employed remotely outside the country. You must stay in the country for at least 90 days in a 180-day period and will be exempt from paying taxes in Hungary for the first 6 months.
Look at that. You're not permitted to work for a Hungarian company under this scheme. So another thing I wanted to throw out there, a little caveat of information. Every country has different types of visas. So right now, this focuses on digital nomad visas, but there are other types of visas. So again, do your research. If you know there's a country that you're interested in visiting for a longer period of time, 30 days or more, look up what kind of visas they offer, what the requirements are, and where you fall, and those are the visas you're going to apply for. This show is strictly about digital nomads. Well, cater to digital nomads.
Yes. Other requirements for other visas, investments or school work visas. Next up we have Iceland for outdoor explorers on high incomes. This is for the rich and fabulous. 6 months visa length, $86 euro application fee, and the income requirement of a whopping $7,075 a month euro.
Wow.
Um, yeah, you better be in some IT or the
An
development.
entrepreneur making your own money, making at least 7,000.
Yes, that's a good entrepreneur right there. Um, yeah, so Iceland's long-term visa, which they're saying is 6 months, but that's not long-term. And high-income individuals earning over 7,000 per month, either as employees of a foreign company or as freelancers. This visa will be 6 months and will not be considered tax residents during this time. And you are definitely not permitted to work for Icelandic employers under this visa. Mm. All right. Next up, we have Italy. I like Italy. I want to visit Italy too. For laid back living and spectacular scenery. 1 year with possibility to renew. Um, it hasn't been determined yet. This Italy is still in the process of finalizing theirs. They just got a patch though in March of 2022 this year. It's not finalized as of yet. This is very similar to Spain. So more than likely you'll look at it 2023. They probably will launch it, I'm sure. And it is thought to be aimed at highly skilled workers. Applicants will likely need to fulfill a range of requirements, including having health insurance and a clean criminal record. I have been seeing those as well too. Health insurance, the global health insurance is what they're looking for. I think I've seen some. I want to say about $40 a month or something like that. But it's more of a just a like you're saying or your actual because I think Cigna may have transferable international coverage,
Hmm.
but most of these other ones are going to have it to where you still have to pay out the pocket, but you get reimbursed. I think Alina's and another company that I saw once I looked into that health insurance for global for digital nomads. But it's not that high just for like a basic one. But the thing too with health insurance abroad, I seen our friend Rebecca actually talk about it because you know Rebecca is in from Brazil that
Yeah.
she's a nurse. She actually did a show with oh, you don't know Phil though. This guy named Phil about health insurance in Brazil, and I think their health insurance, like their public health insurance, is like $15 a month or something, $30 a month in Brazil for the public. Actually, I think that may have been private actually. So yeah, America be hitting you over the head for this health insurance. Telling you.
Yeah, and just to be clear, I mentioned earlier that countries have different types of visa, and we're focusing on digital nomad. But you can, if you're, especially if you're from the U.S. or any non-EU a country, you can actually stay in Italy up to 90 days. But they also have different types of visas. They have a self-employment visa, intra-company visa, a EU blue card that those who are in the EU, non-EU nationals, that means US, can actually get as long as you have a minimum salary of 26,000 euro, I believe, and have completed a 3-year university degree. So again, always do your research on the type of visas available to that country. Just because the digital nomad visa is not available, there are other types of visas available in Italy and other surrounding areas.
Yes, ma'am. And this too is they must also be tax compliant in Italy before applying. Um, well, I have been wanting to go to this place, which is kind of not on a lot of beaten paths of other people. Malta.
Malta.
I seen a couple of movies. I think that's what made me. A lot of movies are being filmed in Malta, but for mild winters, I like mild winters. That's why like you think about the
You live in
cold.
Atlanta. You have a mild winter.
No, we get cold. I mean, we don't get. Yeah, I mean, ideally, I want like a southern winter. Because
You
that's
have a southern winter. You're in Atlanta. You
right.
don't get winter.
That southern winter is a mild winter. That's what I'm saying. I want a southern because that's what I'm used to. Um, and I'm only a state away from where I was born, so yeah, I'm a southern boy. So you kind of would like to be in the same elements that you're. I mean, that's what makes your body kind of transition better. If you go to a place that is just cold, you think about a Bogota where it's rainy, cold, misty, and I probably going crazy with the wearing hoodies all day, every day. One extreme to the other, but anyway, Malta's Nomad residence permit is for remote workers and freelancers who work for companies outside the country. As we always said, the 1 year permit is open to non-EU nationals. Originally, nomads were told they would be granted a tax exemption so long as they continued paying taxes back home. However, there have been legal complications with this promise that are currently being resolved. You definitely want to look in these taxes, people. You don't want to get caught up in these taxes. Consult with your accountant, your tax preparers, and get their advice on this because you don't want to be on Uncle Sam and Uncle Euro, Uncle.
Yeah. Malta is another one of those countries that's in that U.S. citizens can enter and stay up to 90 days. So, again, as long as you have a valid passport, you can stay for up to 3 months.
Yes. And here's.
Looks like we got a comment from Tobias. Tobias the Traveler. He says, "I'll never live in Europe again." He lived and worked in Germany and Sweden for a few years as non-military.
Whoa. Let me. Wow, we done we missed a lot of people here. Let me. Gosh, everybody been talking. Okay, yeah. You gotta tell me that people have been talking. Kisi, what's going on, my guy? Another A1 day one. Right here, Kisi, Tiffany, and Tiny Tim had another question actually. Do any other digital nomad visas offer medical care for the countries that have social medicine? Yeah, that's what I was just mentioning. You would have to. This is outside of the program. It's not included in the program. They want you to have. Some of these will want you to have healthcare coverage as a part of the requirements. Have healthcare coverage on yourself, and I guess they don't want to be liable for that. But like I was telling you all earlier, with a friend of ours that's been on the show, Rebecca. She lives in Brazil. She's actually a traveling nurse. And she helped me to understand too. Sometimes as Americans, we in our own little bubble.
Yeah.
And until we step out, sometimes you don't realize how much you're getting ripped off. Like, you be like, how much is this over here? Oh, that's only 7%. You be like, man, I pay four times as much. I could pay that out of pocket, with certain things. She was telling me, like, I think it was no more than about $30 because they were saying it's high, it's so high. For them as Brazilians, it's high.
Yeah.
They're going to pay certain private, exclusive type health coverages. But I was like, he was like, and I was like, how much is it? How high is it? And he was like, well, it's not really high to you because you probably would just. And I was like, well, how high was it? And she was like, $30 or $40 or something like that a month. And I was like, I said, man, single by myself, I think I pay $150 every 2 weeks, like $300 a month sometimes on a single person. So you would have to probably look in the country that you like, and just kind of Google healthcare, private and public, and see what the premiums are on it. I guarantee you, especially if it's in South America, Latin America, it's going to be relatively cheap. In Europe, it may be a little bit higher than South America, but we pay a lot in the United States for healthcare. Healthcare for profit is what our thing is in the States. So
yeah, a lot of things that we have to have a doctor's prescription for here in the U.S. you can get in other countries over the counter. I mean, I saw that myself. You know, and there, yeah.
What you get over the counter?
What?
No.
Yeah. Watch your tone and your delivery.
What's going on, Tobias, man? Appreciate you stepping in, brother. Yes, definitely check out Tobias the Traveler. He has a YouTube channel as well. A lot of great content on his channel. Tell him Travelmatic sent you, and Miss Sports and Heels. All right. Tiffany and all of them talking.
So what country do we have next? Because we're approaching our.
Hey, we got to show the fans some love here. They want to get this shine. We don't have that much more left. We're gonna dig deeper into Spain. I mean, it's Portugal. Yeah, y'all got it going on. Y'all chatting over there. Yes, Portugal, which I was going to go into a little rant too, but how I went to Madrid and I wanted to go. Another reason why I just love Spain. Spain, you can fly to. I mean, you can take a train to Portugal, pennies on the dollar. You can go to France, pennies on the dollar to the west. You can go to Germany, fly to Germany for $100 round trip. London, $100 round trip. You can fly from Madrid to Morocco for like $150 round trip. Morocco, Africa. You get that? I guess it's beautiful. And Portugal the same way too. It's a great location. And you have a visa for 1 year. Income requirements is $2,800. That's euro. They don't have an application fee. I think they do have an application fee now. I can't recall what it was.
I'll find it.
Thank you. So Portugal will launch they have launched it actually. This is probably this article is like early October. So they have launched it, as you know, the guy said in the TikTok video as well too. Officially called the residence visa for the exercise of professional activity provided remotely outside the national territory. It is open to non-EU citizens who are employed or self-employed by a company outside of Portugal. The new scheme is an alternative to the existing D7 visa, which is one of the hardest visas to get in Europe. But it's one of the most coveted ones, the D7 visa, which is aimed at retirees and passive income earners. People are breaking their necks to get that D7 visa. I see it all over. If you Google, not Google, but go on YouTube, they talk about that D7 visa, how expensive it can be to get it, a lot of requirements, and this right here can roll you right into it without all the requirements. Did you find that?
I, I have, but they have these blockers, so you can't scroll through the article without buying
Yeah,
something, and I'm not buying anything.
yeah, you got to knock all those down. Um,
Oh, it looks like it's 822 euros.
AM22. Yeah, cool. So take note of that.
That
These,
can't be
app-
right.
these application fees are like crazy. Yeah. Um. All right. So we got Romania. Um. For long hikes and pocket friendly stays. Um. I can't recall. It's something about Romania that I did like too. But they don't have an application fee shown. I'm sure they do have one. The income requirement is a little high. Yeah. See, they want this money. They know people want to get out, especially as U.S. people. They're like, hey, you gotta give up this money, man.
Yeah, and I think it sets an expectation, right? You're attracting a certain class of people that they're trying to attract. Um, and so this is their way of putting in, you know, some kind of population control where they're attracting those who can contribute financially to their economy.
Yeah, they don't want the Pookies and Ray Rays out there.
Oh, stop it. Pookies and Ray
Oh,
Ray got travel money too.
I don't know. I don't know. They don't have them jobs so like this. But hey man, you got to pay the cost to be the boss, or pay the cost to move abroad. Yeah, that's three times Romania's average gross salary, which that's what made me thought about that. Like, wow, it's a lot. I mean,
Yeah.
you think euro make a lot because I guess the euro and, but I remember talking with Big J that Big J escaped to the Dominican Republic YouTube channel. Check him out as well. Um, Definitely give me good insight on like Euro life and way of living. Never thought that it would. It's kind of tight over there. They don't make a lot of money as I thought they did. Okay, Romania's digital nomad visa is aimed at, of course, non-EU citizens. Applicants must have health insurance. Like I said, health insurance, a clean criminal record, and proof of income over 33. I would say 3,300 per month from a company outside of the Romania. It's a little different, of $650. Um, if you have tax residence in another country, you are not required to pay tax in Romania under this scheme. Like that.
Oh, well, that's cool. As long as you can prove. So the trade-off is you still pay taxes in the U.S., but you're able to show it to Romania, so that you don't have to pay taxes in Romania. That's the trade-off.
But okay, we got two more left. We have one of my top ones, Spain, España,
España.
for beach escapes and tax breaks. I like that too. I'm gonna go over this visa length on another article real quick, but it's up to 5 years. That's what they say, but it's staggered. It's 1 year initially. Renew it, you get 2 years in addition, and then I think you can renew the third time and get 5 years. From how I understood it. There is a application fee which I will go over in this other article. Income requirement is fair, 2,000 a month. Euro. Spain's digital nomad visa was first rumored in January, and it started to be coming into force in early 2023, which that is in January, I believe. The scheme would grant non-EU citizens the chance to live and work there for up to 5 years. Though details are yet to be finalized, which they have been finalized. It is thought that the scheme will be available to freelancers with proof of regular employment and contracted employees working for companies outside of Spain. Um, Under current plans, tax breaks will be granted to remote workers who may only pay 15% tax during the first 4 years of their stay instead of the usual 24%. 15% is not bad.
No, that's not bad. And Spain, along with France, are another one of those countries that if you're a U.S. citizen, you have 90 days for entry to exit before you have to have a visa. So you can go for 3 months. And you know what? We had my friend Rachel on, Rachel, the real estate bay, and she actually stayed in Spain, I think, for a year. Wasn't it a year? We had her on the show previously.
Yes, a year.
Yeah, so I believe that she stayed for a year.
Yes. And we have Norway, which is the last one, for mountain climbing and local business, up to 2 years, 600 application fee euro, and income requirement is kind of up there, 3,000 a month. Euro eligible non-EU digital nomads can apply for a residence permit and independent contractor visa to live and work remotely in Norway. Applicants must have at least one Norwegian client and are required to pay local taxes under the scheme. Okay.
Wow.
I wanted to chime in on one thing because it kind of makes me think about a few things. Because one of our good friends, and I don't want to say her name because I'm gonna put tie names to business like this, but one of our friends got denied digital nomad visa.
In what country?
I'll tell y'all, man.
Okay.
A South American country. A South American country, right? But
Okay.
I say this to go into this segue here, because a lot of these baseline have, you have to be working for a non-EU company, working in your your home company or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
But okay, digital nomad worker, remote working. And let's give the people context to that again if they don't remember what a digital nomad, how they get paid, and a remote worker, how they get paid. Now, digital nomad usually is going to be like your freelancer. They get a 1099. They may just get paid without having proper documentation, kind of like saying under the table.
Yeah.
You can run into problems. Our friend ran into problems that way. So she could not prove that she was making such money.
Right.
Now, she did tell me that she could have been writing checks to herself, depositing them in her bank, and then she would have had those bank statements showing that she's getting money like monthly like that.
Yeah.
But she wasn't thinking on that at the time.
Right.
So those are things that you got to think about when you're trying to get, because I mean, that's the core thing. I mean, the health insurance, you can get something and then just drop it or whatever. You can do whatever. There's not many requirements, but that proof of employment or that you have your own business is the meat and potatoes of it. So now, the remote worker, there's a little caveat around that too, because most U.S. companies do not allow you to work in other countries. They do not. They only allow you to work in the U.S. continental. That means like Puerto Rico, U.S. Virgin Islands is actually off limits.
Yep.
But the firewall still let you go through if you're in Puerto Rico. But now don't ask me how I know that. But that's a hard thing to
To
You
get.
think about the tax. I think about the taxes too. Like I'm telling such and such company, I'm working remotely in my house, and but if I file those taxes under some type of remote working type, does that set off red flags and alarms too? So, but not a good 90% of your companies in the US will not let you work remotely.
Yeah. Outside of the US.
Well, yeah, I'm sorry, outside of the US. So that's some things to think about, people.
Yeah.
Do I know the answer? No, I don't. But I will. I will find the answer and the workaround.
I did want to mention one country that we did not bring up, and that is the UK, England.
Oh, you found UK? Okay.
Okay, so UK is one of the only countries in Europe, and I think it might be the only country in Europe. I don't know. Germany is 90 days, I believe, but in the UK, you can stay U.S. citizen, right? If you're a U.S., you can visit the UK as a standard visitor for up to 6 months. 6 months.
All right. Okay.
So I just thought that was cool. I mean,
yeah, that's the typical. With like 90 days and then another 90 days extension, and you got to be up out of there. Did you see anything about digital nomad visas?
Yes. If you're planning to stay longer than 6 months, it is required. And I'm looking for the requirements. Oh, here it is. So they don't offer a specific visa for digital nomads.
Okay, yeah, I figured that. Because like I said, they're not in that Sichuan area as the other countries, Romania and Portugal and Spain, the EU countries, they're not a part of that.
Yeah.
But they possibly will come out with something soon. Tobias the Travel says, I'll never live in Europe again. Lived and worked in Germany and Sweden for a few years, non-military. Okay. Oh man, we should have had Tobias on the show today.
Yeah, it looks like Tobias and had a lot of information. He's lived in Sweden, Germany.
Yes. Living in Berlin was great. I heard Berlin was pretty cool.
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah, I heard Sweden was pretty of a outgoing. They like to be out, in the nature and stuff like that. Parks in Sweden. Okay. Europe is fine. Spent time in Germany, military, and London, civilian. Oh yes. That's good. I know some people that, with military, they went to Germany, they ain't never come back.
Wow.
They never come back, man. Got them a German wife and they settled in, got some nice cute little mixed kids running around the house. My boy Booby from back home. I enjoyed London a lot. Oh, he said I've been working remotely since 2015. Yeah, man, we should have had Tobias on. We got to bring you on next time. Because there's more to come with this remote work stuff. And I think right now, anything that's new, you kind of got to get in it right now because you don't know how tight the requirements are going to be, or if it's just they're going to be done with it and they got everybody grandfathered in, And so you'd be like, man, I saw a Travelmatic show, man. I went and jumped on that thing, and they don't even offer it no more. For real? Ah, man, they don't even offer it no more, man. Like,
yeah.
Dang, I wish I'd have seen Travelmatic show. Him and Tiffany, man, I missed out. Like, yeah, we trying to tell y'all, man.
Yeah, you definitely want to pay attention. Use your resources. Go to YouTube, find travelers who have, applied for visas, what their process looked like. TikTok, again, is another source if you want a 30-second video or a couple of 3-minute video on what people experiences were.
They can follow me because I'm going to go for one of them. I'm going to actually try to go for two of them and see if I can get one of them. I probably won't be able to get two of them, but on my list is, like I said, that's Spain.
Spain.
I love that Spain. It's not a hard commute too. See, that's why, like, Um, I know from Atlanta. I'm in Atlanta, everyone. Um, and the prices have gone down considerably. Especially if you go on this time right now to Europe,
Yeah, because it's the winter time.
right? But I'm just trying to get over there. It's not really. It won't be a vacation. It's like planning my commutes around the winter.
Yeah.
Um, and you save a lot of money. I mean, I think 700, maybe 800 from Atlanta. Um, or if I do like one of those skip lag flights and just get to New York, I can get out of New York for like $400.
I was gonna say you could fly to New York to Spain $400 easy.
Straight shot.
Yeah, easy,
Straight shot, no layover.
easy. Yeah, yeah.
I'm allergic to cold. Oh, okay. So
We got I mean, you're way back in the. We got a ton. We had a ton of chat today. I appreciate everybody who came out and chatted tonight.
Okay, okay. Oh yeah, you don't talk to the people though. Okay.
Yeah, Tobias dropping all kind of little tidbits of information, and I see Razor Rays joined us tonight.
Razor Rays. Yes, he is going to have a show coming out going up against the Medellin monster, DC born Rob. And they're going to hash it out about Medellin and Cartagena. I am there to see that match. I think it's tonight or tomorrow. I am Team Cartagena.
Speaking of matches, my team's playing tonight.
Oh yes. So let's go ahead.
Button in this so I can watch my team stay in first place tonight.
Man, y'all Ravens fans are crazy. But it's been a good one. I had to give him a little bit more time because of my technical difficulties in Murphy's Law.
Oh, yeah.
But I owe the people some time, and appreciate y'all patience, everyone. Yes, I'm gonna start looking at some of these, narrowing down like Spain and maybe a South American country, and follow my journey. And I'm gonna document it and see where I end up at.
I'm excited.
Get this ball rolling. I really like that Spain one because it's so long. The other ones are like a year. Colombia's up to 2 years, but I don't know just yet. I switch my mind like underwear sometimes,
Well, it's almost the end of 2022, so who knows what happens on 2023, what's on the horizon. You could be, next show, you could be telling us you've already started the application process and drop a video.
Right. That's what I'm talking about. Any other questions, thoughts, Sports and Heels?
Guys, we're not experts in any of this information that we're providing. We're, like Adrian mentioned earlier, we're just kind of all doing this together. So our purpose is always to drop information and help you curate the life that you want for yourself, whether it's being a remote worker or a digital nomad. Where you're here to learn and grow together, and encourage you to live beyond your wildest dreams and make those dreams a reality and live the life that you want. So I'm going to say good night. Follow me on all my socials. You can find me at Sports and Heels on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter, and maybe YouTube. I don't know. We'll see one day.
Yes. Slide in her DMs, y'all. She love when y'all slide in her DMs.
That's not true.
And give her, congratulations on the show and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So another one in the books. And we will see y'all on the next Matic Mondays. And I'm gone.
All right. Have a good night, y'all. Go Ravens.
Yes. Ciao.
Ciao.